Think about your favorite superhero. Regular person by day, vigilante in spandex and a cape by night. Saving the world isn't an easy job, so most superheroes have support. Enter the guy behind the computer, the all-knowing tech whiz that helps the hero succeed. Hacking blueprints, giving directions, monitoring surveillance. The guy behind the computer does it all. And we can think of the cell nucleus like the guy behind the computer, making calls, sending directions, and overall being in charge of the superhero cell, despite always getting less credit than the superhero themselves. The nucleus is a multifunctional organelle that is found in eukaryotes. Generally, eukaryotes have only one nucleus, but this isn't always the case. Certain eukaryotic cells, like red blood cells, and prokaryotes, like bacteria and archaea, don't have nuclei either. These are called enucleate cells. Other cells, like those of slime mold, have 2 or more nuclei and are called multinucleate cells. The nucleus, if there is one, makes up approximately 10% of the cell's volume and has an incredibly important purpose in the cell. The cell nucleus functions as the information processing center of the cell, storing genetic material and organizing all of the cell's activities from cell division to synthesizing proteins. The nucleus is especially important for protein synthesis. Oh yeah, it's the site of transcription where messenger RNA or mRNA is produced. The nucleus may appear to be one lone blob of an organelle, but in fact it's made of many different structures that contribute to the overall function of the nucleus. We're talking about the nuclear membrane, the nucleoplasm, chromatin and chromosomes, and the nucleolus. Now let's see what kind of programs the guy behind the computer nucleus runs in the superhero cell. The first important structure making up the nucleus is the nuclear envelope. The nuclear envelope is like your computer's antivirus. It keeps everything where it should be and screens for everything before allowing it on your computer, or in this case, the nucleus. You can't be a superhero sidekick with a virus on your computer, can you? The nuclear envelope consists of 2 phospholipid bilayers that act as a wall for the nucleus, keeping all of the contents in place. This protective envelope is actually composed of 2 membrane layers. An inner nuclear membrane, or INM, facing inside towards the inside of the nucleus, and an outer nuclear membrane, or ONM, facing away from the nucleus towards the cytoplasm of the cell. The ONM also connects directly to the rough endoplasmic reticulum and is covered in ribosomes. There is also a fluid-filled space between the INM and the ONM called the perinuclear space, separating the 2 membrane layers. Although the nuclear envelope acts as a wall to keep the nucleus in shape, it also has another important function, selectively allowing things into the nucleus. Small holes in the envelope, called nuclear pores, act as a safe passageway for different molecules like proteins and RNA. The pores are like a bodyguard. Unless you pass the check, you're not allowed entry. And this keeps the nucleus safe and allows it to keep doing its job without issue. Next up, let's talk internet. The guy behind the computer can't function without internet, right? That magical hidden network that can get you anywhere you need to go, much like the nucleoplasm of the nucleus. The nucleoplasm, composed of water, salts, enzymes, and other organic molecules, helps the nucleus in a number of ways. First, it acts as a cushion for the nucleus, protecting all of the contents within the organelle, and also helps the nucleus keep its shape. But more importantly, the nucleoplasm acts as a transportation network for the nucleus, much like the internet of the cell. Imagine you're helping a superhero on a mission and search up bad guys near me, and you immediately get the perfect website back on your browser because of your super fast internet. The nucleoplasm works in sort of the same way. Say the nucleus needs something like an enzyme, for example. The enzyme travels through the cell, right through the nuclear pores, into the nucleus. It's like cellular level internet, but cooler. Now, let's think about how a computer actually works. If you're a superhero's right-hand man, you have to have a top-notch, state-of-the-art computer, and you can't run a computer without code. The code on your computer dictates how every single thing on it runs, so it's really important. Chromosomes are like USB sticks for computers, but instead they store the blueprint to our bodies. They store and share code in the form of DNA. Chromosomes have all our body's information, from how-to manuals on cell growth to development and reproduction 101. Chromosomes live in the nucleus, but in a resting form. When the cell is not in active reproduction stage, chromosomes exist in long, free-floating strands of DNA and protein called chromatin. And chromatin can be classified even further into heterochromatin, the inactive form of chromatin, and euchromatin, the looser, more delicate form of chromatin. Chromatin in all its forms comes together during cell division to form chromosomes. The nucleolus is the final feature we'll talk about, and it actually directly relates to chromosomes and chromatin. Think of the nucleolus like a temporary line of code that your guy behind the computer uses to save the day. It's put on your computer to finish one job, and once it's done, the code disappears until you need it again. The nucleolus is a membraneless feature that spends its time floating around in the nucleoplasm and also plays a big role in protein synthesis. The nucleolus, which stores proteins and RNA inside, has features called nucleolar organizers that are integral for creating ribosomes during the process of protein synthesis. Ribosomes are formed during protein synthesis, and then, when the cell is ready to divide, the nucleolus disappears. Talk about not taking credit for your work. In an almost but not quite divided cell, the nucleolus reappears as sets of chromosomes meet on the opposite sides of the cell during mitosis. Like a line of disappearing code, the nucleolus fulfills its job, then lets the rest of the cell take charge. Much like your favorite superhero depends on their guy behind the computer, and let's face it, the computer itself, our entire body depends on the function of the nucleus. Whether it's providing code for our bodies to replicate DNA or make new proteins, or it's simply helping the necessary coding information pass through to be read by the nucleus, the various functions of this organelle are something we literally could not live without. Now, speaking of organelles, click on the next video to learn about another important organelle closely related to the nucleus, the endoplasmic reticulum. And remember to like the video so you tell me and YouTube you want more of these, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next upload. I will see you soon.